Hi everyone, today we are going to talk about top 7 countries by highest inflation rate in the world. Let's start. Number 1. Venezuela. Venezuela, long run by leaders of the huge Chavez, suffer from one of highest inflation rates in the world, nearly 15%, actually 49.7%. Be extract. In 2012, Venezuela was looked pretty good, while inflation rates getting to low as 18%. And compared with recorded high inflation rate of 115% in 1996, 15 seems down nearly responsible. The central bank's response, such a high inflation has been forced bank in send more their money to it. That's the same central bank that predicated of the inflation in Venezuela would be reduced. Before it went in other way, political witch hunt have followed. Consumer prices are almost 5% month over month, and Venezuelans are buying used car since new car is impossible to find, along with toilet papers. Number 2. Sudan. It's hard to pin down exactly what's happening with inflation in Sudan. One's report suggested it reached 47%, while others suggested in the direction of peak closer to 15%. Inflation has been slowly lately, with one study showing in the despite of such as rate in only 1 month or 2 months ago. The current inflation rate has dropped but decreasing of the food prices and is actually 37.1%, such an improvement. Sudan's economy is not ranked in many global studies, and because is such as leaked reputable data, the country is still shambles of the after new nation of South Sudan broke away in 2011. The government is unable to deliver of the basic services and suffers from massive corruption. The current president originally took power in 1989 military coup, and other coups always remembered of the take place. At least personal income tax rate are only 10%. Number 3. Syria. The world's military superpower threatening of the blow of your country isn't exactly a recipe of the rosy economic outlook. Now, is culture of the growing side of the domestic or the within in the borders. Like other countries in the list of hard and when extracted idea in the inflation rate in Syria, such is price of civil war. What we does it high in 2012 in the rate estimated 37%. That rate make the banks of Syria 10% yield of the Syrian pounds deposits loom mightily weak. The few years ago, Syria was exporting of the billion of dollars of goods. Today, exports are basically non-extent of the fall on the war. Number 4. Iran. Inflation in Iran has been rising month after month, now hitting a high inflation rate of 36.2%, thanks of runaway liquidity growth. That's double a rate year 2 years ago. Iran hopes to low and rate 5 or 6% over next year by climbing such a growth. But US politicians are taking credit Iran has high inflation rates and unemployment. US suspension on Iran have caused country's real currency and tumble of value over the year as it become further escalated in rest of the world. Middle classes Iranians are feeling in the hurt, now being pushed on the poverty of the due to huge species of consumer prices. While official fungal of the entreated of the unofficial, estimated saying inflation rate could be as highest as 18%. Wage and hard keep in place and the inflation growth and oil sanction of the squabble of the occupations in country of 77 million meanwhile. Iran's banks are paying close to 20% interest, while also leaks and well behind inflation. Number 5. South Sudan. South Sudan is a country in the size of France with huge, untapped of natural resources. It is also Africa's newest country, breaking away from South Sudan in 2011. That means South Sudan has become scrambling of the build its was new nation everything and come with at a scrape. While inflation rates are said to have dropped since instead of the previous of sky-high inflation rate were high as 79% at their peak. Before shutting down all oil exports, 98% of natural of the income came in the oil industry. The country believed in the spread of the natural resources wealth, as per capita income of less than $1,000 was unscrapable. Most of the South Sudan population is engaged in the sustained agriculture. Limited local foods, inflation of defense of imported foods culminate of the declaration of South Sudan. New currency and border closing at the north case in high inflation. While there is a little reliable data, inflation rates are believed to have decreased in the 25% range, but are still be among the world's highest. Number 6. Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka's annual inflation climbed up to 15.1% in February of 2022 from 14.2% in previous month. It was highest inflation rate since November of 2008 and the third consecutive of double digit of the growth of consumer prices as prices continued to rise both of food. 25.7% was 25% in January, and non-food products 10.1% was 9.2%. On monthly basis of consumer prices went up to by 1.1%, slowing from a 2.4% rise in January. Number 7. Argentina. Consumer prices rose 3.88 from the previous month in January, coming in above the 3.84 rise recorded in December. December's result marked the most pronounced increase in 8 months. In January, the sharpest of rise prices were recorded for communication, restaurant, hotels, and food and non-alcoholic beverages. Inflation came in 15.7 in January, down from December's 15.9%. January's reading of the represented of the worst of inflation rate since June 2021. Annual average inflation rose to 49.7 in January.